Hi there, welcome to today's video. The most popular videos on our channel so far have been the 12 volt electric system videos, both the simple 12 volt electric installation and then the one with the split charge relay installation. The ones installing the solar panel and the solar charge controller, although they've only just been put on quite recently, they've also been quite popular as well. But like I say, by far the most popular ones have been the split charge relay and the simple 12 volt ones. So the 12 volt electric system, where I put that in, I pretty much showed that step by step, and that doesn't need explaining further, I don't think. However, the one with the split charge relay, for those that have watched it, if you remember, the instructions were absolutely useless. So, like I say, that's the instructions there. The instructions are absolutely useless. Single page. Useless. So, like I say, I'll do a little video now. So, because I've already done the installation, I'm not going to take it out and show it again. So, you'll have to visualize on my little board here. The vehicle battery, that's the starter battery, whether you're in a van, a car, whatever. It's the one where you turn your ignition, it sends the power to the engine, starts the car up. So, that's the starter battery. And then you've got your leisure battery here with obviously what you connect your electronics to when you're charging your phone, putting your lights on, etc., etc. You need the power to go into your leisure battery from the alternator through the starter battery. And you need, in older vans, you need one of these, split charge relay system. So we've got that up here. So what does it do? Well, it tells you basically on the front here. So once your vehicle battery gets to a certain voltage, which on this one it says 13.3 volts, it starts sending excess power through to your leisure battery. So if you imagine, it goes up, around, and down into your leisure battery. So if you imagine you've got your split charge relay there, obviously just for visual purposes, like I say, I'm going to take that down. We're going to have a little sticker. But you can't just wire a cable from your battery to split charge relay and then to your leisure battery, because it's got a risk of shorting out. So first step you need to do is get your positive cable, and you take your positive from your vehicle battery. You need to run that into a fuse. So you need to make sure first of all that you're using the right thickness of cable. Obviously, just for the purpose of the video, I've just got this thin cable, like I say, but you don't want to be using this. You want to be using very thick cable. Some of the kits that you can get on the likes of eBay and Amazon, in my opinion, bearing in mind I'm not an auto electrician, I don't really know, but just I think they're too thin, personally. What I went for in the van was the 16mm cable. For those who use the wire gauge, it's a 7 gauge wire. So you want to use it if you want to use a fuse, which would be 100 amps. So you take a cable, you connect it from your positive terminal on the vehicle battery, and you'd run that to a 100 amp fuse. So let's quickly do that. Right, so as you can see, we've got the positive feed from the vehicle battery through to the 100 amp fuse now. So in my van, I went straight from the 100 amp fuse to the split charge relay. And that's no problem whatsoever. You can do that if you like. What I've since found out I could have done, and in hindsight I wish I had done, is installed a breaker switch. Now, it can't be just any breaker switch that you get from the hardware store or whatever. It's got to be the 12 volt DC breaker switch. The difference between alternating current and direct current, I don't exactly know, but as far as I'm aware, the gap in the breaker switch, it's got to be a larger gap in the DC. If you use an AC switch, the gap may not be big enough and the current can still jump and the circuit won't be broken, which is the whole point of a breaker switch. So make sure you get a 12 volt DC breaker switch if you're going to put one in. So that's the, the cable going from the van battery to the 100 amp fuse and then to the breaker switch. From the breaker switch, then we just go to the split charge relay. So now we've got a live feed going to the split charge relay, if you imagine that's up there. Like I say, there's now current going to this, it's live. I'll quickly show you the terminals in the back. So if you imagine you've got the cable coming and it's coming to here and it's already come out of here. Obviously it would be the other way, but like I say, you've got the cable coming into there. Now for safety, you need an earth point. So we've got one of those just here, an earth point. So this cable, the negative cable, the black cable, would go to your earth point. So just very quickly there's the earth point from the split charge relay down to the earthing point on the vehicle. So for those who don't know, the earth point, it has to be a bit of bare metal of the body of the van so it can take the current through it. In my van, my dad welded a bit of metal onto the van. Like I say, he scraped away some of the paint on the wheel arch. And then he welded a little bracket to put a bolt through, and then we could connect the cable straight to it. He tested it to make sure that it was all working as it should, and that was our earth point. Like I say, so you got the earth point from the split charge relay onto the body of the van, so that's that connected. So then we can proceed. So again, we're going to continue with the live feed, the red cable, and again, this is the optional step. You can have a breaker switch on this side of the split charge relay as well. It's just basically so if you have to do any maintenance, you can disconnect it. Like I say, let's say your split charge relay becomes faulty, you can break a switch here, break a switch there. You can leave all of the rest of the wires connected in, switch out the split charge relay. Equally, like I say, let's say you need to do some other maintenance, you can turn the breaker switch there and you can remove your leisure batteries, vehicle battery, vice versa, just so it cuts the current. So we'll take the live feed from the split charge relay through the next breaker switch. Alright, so that's the next breaker switch wired in, and it's pretty much, like I say, a mirror of this. So we're just going to take the connection through another 100 amp fuse. There you go, so we've got our second 100 amp fuse wired in ready, and then we just need to complete the circuit down to the positive connection on the leisure battery. So that's the feed going through now from the fuse to the leisure battery. But before we turn the breaker switches to the on position so the current can flow through, first of all, and this is also very important, you need to connect an earth from the negative terminal on the leisure battery to your earth point. So there you go, you've got your connection, it's all complete. You've got your vehicle battery, you've got the connection going to your 100 amp fuse, from the fuse to your 12 volt DC breaker switch, not an AC breaker switch, a 12 volt DC breaker switch. Then you've got the feed going from the breaker switch through to your split charge relay to another breaker switch to the 100 amp fuse and to your leisure battery. And then you've got your split charge relay earth to the body of the van, and also the leisure battery earth to the body of the van as well. So you can go ahead and turn the breaker switches so the current can flow through. And then once you start your van up, you're charging your system. It's as simple as that, really. The only thing I would recommend is make sure that the connections on your cable are absolutely solid. So again, if you've got your connection, just give it a little pull, make sure there's no movement whatsoever. If there's any sort of movement, crimp it again. Like I say, it's a risk. It's a fire risk. When the current, it's a lot of current going through those cables. If it's not connected to all of the cores of the cable correctly, the few connections where it is will have to take all of the current, and it'll get really, really hot. And obviously it'll melt the cable. It could set fire to your vehicle. So make sure there's absolutely solid connections between each of your points. Like I say, they need to be solid. Don't let that put you off. Like I say, my advice, give it a go, but make sure they're solid. So just a little reminder, just before I go, you want the 16mm cable or the 7AWG cable. And that's it. So I'm going to leave this video here. Hopefully you'll find this helpful, and then hopefully you'll be able to tackle your own split charge relay installation. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.